Hello everybody, welcome to the United Stands. I'm Mark Goldbridge and this is your latest Manchester United news and transfer news as Manchester United move in on another on another PSG target. This time it's Javi Simons. We mentioned him a couple of weeks ago. L'Equipe are saying that United are pursuing him hard. Well, look, a lot of people think he wants to go to Germany. He could be coming to Old Trafford, and why wouldn't he want to do that? Not the French. I've got the French in my mind for some reason. The revolution at Manchester United is absolutely what it's all about, and this could be another signing for United. We're also going to talk about what's going on with Ugarte. I've got a burp. Excuse me. I've been down the pub. That's disgusting. That is disgusting. I apologise for that. But if I didn't do it, I think I was going to pass out. It was really bad. But we're going to talk about, what are we going to talk about? I did the notes in the pub. Oh, God, I'm wasted. Ugarte and De Ligt, have a bit of patience. Stay calm on Sir Jim. Told you so. Oh, I know what that's all about. Patient on sales. Rashford's injured. Rabiot, okay, we'll talk about that. Rabiot wants to move to the Premier League. And who is going? Big list. And we've done well. Pereira 20%. Okay, lots to get into. It's a Friday night show. And we're ready to go as normal on a Friday night. Lots to get into. Oh, God. It's all going on. God, I haven't done a Friday night show after the pub when it's hot for a long time. It's not easy, bruv. Right, okay, let's get straight into it. So L'Equipe are reporting that Javi Simons is being pursued by Manchester United. Now, look, I actually, this is quite good because I actually had this down as what will we do about a wide player? Because Manchester United have looked at a wide player in Elise and it didn't work. And there is a quote that's actually come out about Simons that Fabrizio has retweeted that we'll talk about in a moment. But I think with Man United have been looking at a wide player. We've been linked to Danny Olmo tonight. I mean, I think the source is about as bad as tomato ketchup, to be honest with you. But not that I've got anything against ketchup. I mean, I don't mind it on a burger or on a sausage, steak every now and again. But as a transfer expert, I just don't race it. I don't rate it. But I don't race it. I don't like racing transfer tomato ketchup. I don't know what I'm talking about. But my point is, I don't know what my point is. What is my point? Yeah, my point is that we have looked at wingers and creatives, attacking midfielders, wingers, whatever you want to call them. We looked at Elise. We looked at Neto. Apparently, we're looking at Olmo. But Simons is somebody that we are certainly interested in. And it's the second time in 2 weeks that our name's been mentioned around Javi Simons. Now, we were talking about this in the group chat, and we were saying, you know, if this isn't true, because some people think he's going to Germany, if this isn't true, is this just French outlets, you know, using Man United? I mean, and we've got to be wary of this as well. This is what I said about stay calm. I think it says it on the thumbnail. We've got to stay calm in a certain sense. We've got to stay calm about some of the stuff I'm going to talk about outgoings and incomings. But we've also got to stay calm as well, because success breeds... what does success breed? It breeds something. I don't like the word breed. I'm thinking about success having it off with something. What would success be having it off with? I don't know. Success breeds with liars and produces frauds. And that's what I mean. Because basically, being Man United at the moment are having success in the transfer window. But the backside of that, breeding from the backside of that is that there will be some shit coming out. And what I mean by that is people will look at Man United and how active and quick we are in the transfer window. And if I was an agent and I wanted to generate a bit of interest in my player, I'd say, ooh, you know, if it's Bayern or Leipzig who want Simons, I'd go, ooh, Man United are interested, and then Bayern and Leipzig will be thinking, oh, if they're interested, they can move really quick. We better move quick. And it might just be that, you know, we're being used to generate a bit of interest. But having said that, we have heard a couple of times in the last 2 weeks that we're in for Simons. Now, Fabrizio did tweet about this before, and he said Bayern director Max Eberl, if that is his real name, said about Simons, I bought him to Leipzig. We saw him in the Bundesliga and at the Euros, that he is an outstanding footballer. We're trying everything to have a top squad for the new season. So looks like Bayern are looking to get him as well. I mean, look, all I'll say is this, and I'll say it with my chest, I'll say it with my feet if you want to. Bayern can go swivel. Leipzig can go swivel. Because we're Manchester... Where's Gary Neville? Get him on for a Friday night show. He can just stick his head around and go, we're Manchester United. He'd love that. But we're Manchester United. Shove it up your arse, Bayern Munich, with Vincent Kompany. Bloody, who's he? Who does he think he is? We're Manchester United. What's Javi Simons' bloody obsession with Germany? What's so good about Germany? Like, why don't you want to come to... Why wouldn't you come to Manchester United? Old Trafford, the Theatre of Dreams. Marcus Rashford, Bruno Fernandes, you know, Xerxes, Højlund, Garnacho, Mainu, the best league in the world. Come to Manchester United. Why do you want to go to the German league? What's so good about the German league? Oh, he likes German things now, does he? Well, come and try English things. It's good. But look, I don't know whether we want him or not. I don't know whether we want him or not. But apparently we do. So we'll wait and see what happens with that. Cheers. That's the end of the show. Oh, it's hot. It's so hot. Let's get into some of your chats. Lots to talk about on the show tonight. I'll tell you what I do want to talk about as well. I want to have a bit of a moan. I'm going to read my book out in a minute as well, just to piss people off. Mark, it's my birthday today, but you hurt my feelings yesterday when I said I hope Yoro is a French Chris Smalling because you said Virgil was a Dutch one, says Nelson. Oh yeah, I mean that's way over my head, Nelson, but happy birthday. Chaos Theory has gifted 5 memberships. We love that on a Friday night. The community gifting memberships. Chaos Theory, you're a legend. Drunk Mark is the best. Love you, Mark, says Raymond. Mate, it's been a hard week. It's Friday night. If you can't kick back on a Friday night, when can you kick back? I mean, we can't just do 8 o'clock serious shows all week. That, you know, we're a community. Sometimes we just got to trust each other. Chaos Theory, welcome to the Members Club. Zvonko is a new member as well. Legends in the chat, getting the badge in. Thoughts on having ketchup on a roast, says Morgan. Peasant. Absolute peasant. If you put tomato ketchup on a roast dinner, you should go to prison. That's not even edgy. That's not even niche. That is not unorthodox. That is thick. Welcome to the Members Club, Josh White. Mark, are you doing a book tour for the launch of your new book? Oh, yes. Oh, yeah. Yeah, please do pre-order the book, by the way. I want to sell more books than Ollie Murs, basically. And please do pre-order it. I'm going to read a bit later. But if we can get in the top 10 of the Sunday Times bestseller list when it comes out in a week and a half, just please pre-order it. Links in the description. Scan the QR code. It's a very good book anyway, but you can enter a competition. But go for it. Go for it. We will share like everything together when we're in the top 10. Any news on when Yoro will be back from the Olympics? Says Sean. I'm drunk as well. Says Lee. What takes this window to a 9 out of 10 for you? Says Goldio. We'll talk about that in a minute. Love these shows, Mark. Hope you had a Madri or two. Love the content. And I've got the book. Well, you're a legend, Sonic Lucy. You're a legend. Any news on Arsenal teen Obi joining United? Apparently that's not true, Mario Franco. And this is one exciting summer. Can't wait to see what happens. I forgot all about this feeling. Let's go United, says Lauren. Martin Saunders has gifted 5 memberships. And Mr. Sue says, will Yoro play tomorrow? That just reminds me, we've got a bloody watch-along tomorrow. Got a watch along tomorrow. Apparently Rashford's injured, by the way. I don't know how true this is, but apparently Rashford's had a knock. He'll be back in training next week, but won't play tomorrow. So we'll have to wait and see what happens with that. But I'm excited about tomorrow. Collier, obviously, I think Sancho could be involved. Don't know about Anthony. Don't know about Ahmad. I think Mason Mount again. I think it might be too soon for Yoro. But yeah, looking forward to that tomorrow. But I don't think it'll be Yoro. Thoughts on Arsenal talent joining United? Says apparently United Academy or United Scope, who knows all about the academy, has said that that's not true. So I don't know whether it's true or not, but there's this 16-year-old generational talent called Obi from Arsenal that apparently we're going to sign. And that would be amazing if we can start doing that sort of stuff as well. Bringing in, you know, not only players for the first team now, but players for the first team for the future. It'd be great. Bevy Bridge says, Naan bread. Mark, it's my birthday. I've done that one from Nelson. Okay, we're all caught up. Mally's been a member for 23 months and Michael is a new member. Ray says, I'm proud to be part of this community. Got my beers and enjoying the content. Pre-ordered the book too. Legend, legend and legend, Ray. 3 times a legend. Once. No, I won't start singing. Would you trade Mainu for Tchouaméni? I wouldn't trade Mainu for a gold-plated Ferrari driven by Lewis Hamilton, whatever that means. And Svonko's gifted a membership. I reckon we could get some, do you reckon we could get some Friday night drama, says it Salmon? I think we could get, and look, I genuinely think anything's problem with, I genuinely think anything's possible with Manchester United at the moment. But as a bit of a recap where we are, I do think we need to stay calm. I think there's a, you know, we're on a roller coaster, and when the trouble is with the highs, it's like an addiction. You know, I've been watching some behaviour in the chat and on social media, and some people are behaving like addicts, in the sense that, you know, they get that big high of a transfer. What's next? What's next? And we're having a great time. You know, oh, Greenwood's gone to Marseille. Who's next? Who's bloody next? Table off the floor. You know, we've just announced Yoro. Who's next, though? Who's next? And we do need to just stay calm a little bit, because maybe we are in for Javi Simons. Maybe we're not. But we're certainly in for Agate, and we're certainly in for De Ligt. And I think we just need to stay calm on them, because what we haven't had to do in this transfer window yet is be dictated by a club that is making it a bit difficult. And I know Everton made it difficult, but we walked. We haven't walked from Bayern and PSG. We do want De Ligt and we do want Agate, but we've got two clubs there who are big clubs who just want to flex a bit of muscle. And I just say, let them flex their muscle a bit. Let them tire themselves out. It's like a boxing match. Oh, here I am, look. I'm Ollie Murs. Come on. And I'd just be there laughing at him, going, go on, come on, troublemaker, do some of your dancing, your bloody tribute act. Come on, let's have it. And then he'll just walk onto one, right on the chin. But I'll just take my time. Might be round 8. But it will happen. He's going down. And it's the same with I do talk shit. It's the same. I actually do quite like Ollie Murs. He supports Man United. I just don't think he understands that I use him as a constant banter piece, because it's always funny to just have a certain person that you mention all the time. But it probably goes over his head. Not the brightest, apparently. But apparently, what I was going to say is that we just got to be a bit patient with PSG and Bayern, because they are sort of like Billy Big Bollocks. We want this, we want that. Do you? Yeah, we want this. Yeah, okay, fine. You're going to pay it? No, but you keep gobbing off for a bit, and then you'll sit down. Just tire yourself out, and then we'll properly talk. And I think that is what's happening, because we've seen that PSG want 70 million euros. We've seen that Bayern Munich want 50 million euros plus add-ons for De Ligt. They're not getting it. They're not getting it. But the interesting thing is, no one's going to bloody give it them anyway. And both those players want to come to United. Now, there is a lot of interest in Agate. And somebody said, good point. Somebody said, look, all right, De Ligt we can be patient with. And I'll explain what patience means in a moment in relation to where we're at. But somebody was saying today with Agate, well, what about other clubs? What about other clubs being involved? Doesn't that panic you? And I said, well, no. Rogers pre-ordered the book. You're a legend, mate. If we can get 5 pre-orders while I'm live today, it'd be amazing. Scan the QR code, links in the description. Legends, you can get it on audio. If you're not living in the UK, get it on Amazon. But I'll be outside Asda when it comes out, selling them from a bag. Don't worry about that. Help me beat Ollie Murs. But the point is, what I was going to say is, and it's a great point, and I hope I can remember it, is that, yes, people were saying, well, it's all right saying we're not going to pay 70 million, but if there's other clubs in for Agate, we might miss out. Forget about it. Forget about it. Staffy says, any signed copies left? Check the WH Smith link when you go in there. There might be some. I'll sort you out with a signed copy once the book's out. Anyway, I've got some secrets. But my point is, if the other clubs want Agate, they're not going to steal a march on us and pay 70 million euros, because he ain't worth that. He's a good player, but you're worth what you're worth. You're worth what you're worth. Xerxes wasn't worth 70 million. We got him for 35. And Yoro's not worth 70 million. We got him for 52. And, you know, the left back we go for won't be worth 80 million. We'll get him for about 30. And Agate is a good signing, but he's not worth 70 million euros. And the clubs that are interested in Agate can't afford that either. So we're just going to have to be a bit patient with Agate and De Ligt. And, you know, like I was saying, I think some people just want the roller coaster to go, carry on. Come on, it's more exciting. But sometimes you've got to wait in the queue. I don't know whether you've ever been to Alton Towers, but you can't just go on the roller coaster and run round and go back on it again. You've got to queue, sometimes for 2 hours. And the same, you will get your ride, but you've just got to queue for it. And I think with Agate and De Ligt at the moment, I think we'll get both players, but we are being held up now by Bayern and PSG, who are big clubs who just want to flex their muscles a bit, and they've got to get in the real world. So I just think we need to be a little bit patient. And when I say patient, it wouldn't have surprised me if we had a here we go tonight, because that could happen. But we do need to be a little bit patient. This window all means nothing unless we address the left-back situation, says Harvey. It's a major concern of mine. Why has this not been spoken about? Harvey, great point. And I think that one of the things I wanted to bring into the show was what we're actually doing. And I said at the start of the season, at the start of the summer transfer window, I said at the start of the summer transfer window that I want to see us selling 12 players and I want to see us bringing in 6 or 7. Now, some of you said you've got no chance. And I said, I think we can. Well, look at it like this. We've already got Yoro and we've already got Xerxes. We'll get De Ligt and we'll get Agate, in my opinion. That's 4. We will get a left back. That's 5. And I also think we will get a right back if Wan-Bissaka goes. That's 6. Ting! We've achieved what I said. 6 players coming in. Ideally 7, but we've got the 6. 12 players that I think will leave. Well, I'm not going to count Brandon Williams, and I'm not going to count Hannibal Mabry. He's not gone, or Shoretire, or anyone like that. But who's gone out the door already? Varane, Martial, Kamwala, Donny van der Beek, and Mason Greenwood. So 5 have gone already. Add to that Wan-Bissaka, Lindelof, Maguire, Casemiro, Scott McTominay, Ericsson, and there was somebody else. I think another winger will go. That's 12 out. 5 plus 7 is 12. That winger could be Pellistri, it could be Sancho. So we're literally on track to do 6 in and 12 out, which is incredible, really. And you'd never expect that. I mean, 12 players out is a considerable amount. I know some of them went because their contracts were up, but it's still a lot of players. So I know what you're saying about us needing a left back, but as long as it gets done, does it really matter? Because Luke Shaw at the moment's fit, so he'll play against Fulham. So the left back does need to be brought in, but as of now, it's not a major urgency as much as the centre-back situation, the midfield situation, and Xerxes. So we will get a left-back, but as I said, stay calm. You're right, we do need one, but we do need to be a little bit calm about it because we will get a left-back. The exciting thing is, who will it be? And I remember saying this to you in April, like, who's the striker going to be? Because we didn't really know it was going to be Xerxes at that point. So who the left-back's going to be, Gutierrez, could be Cucurella, could be Kirkez at Bournemouth, but I think that'll be hard. I'd love it to be Gutierrez, but who knows? We probably don't know who it is going to be at the moment. I want to talk to you about what Romano said, but let's just catch up on some of this. Is there a United Stand Fantasy Premier League? It'll be on the podcast, mate. Make sure you start listening to the podcast again. Goldbridge Saves Football. We've got some exciting stuff coming up with that, and we will be doing a Fantasy Premier League. Have we talked about Simons yet? So CFC Cash, yes. And Glenn says, considering what the board have done already, I'm happy enough to give them the benefit of the doubt that they know what they're doing, says Glenn. Oh, Glenn, you've just prompted, you've started a spark here, right? So it's Friday night. Have a sip of this. Apple juice. It's Friday night. So Friday night, if you've never watched a Friday night show before, for years, it's been a little bit different. We talk about all the topical stuff. We get a lot of the comments in. But you know what? I just got to say this, right? A lot of people really, really praising what's happening at the moment. Brilliant, okay? I got sent something today. Look, I won't mention the names because they don't deserve a shout out, but they watched the show. I mean, Answer's on a postcard here. I mean, it's like me watching the One Show for Jermaine Genius to clip him up and put him on Twitter and say, look at this knobhead. Actually, it sounds like a good idea, but I just don't watch the One Show. So I don't like the One Show, and I don't like Jermaine Genius as a presenter. So I just don't watch it. People watch the United Stand, and some of the bits they clip are like 25 minutes in. So they're watching the show now, and yet they hate it. Imagine what the home life's like. I mean, imagine what their wife or girlfriend has said. Actually, they clearly haven't got a wife or girlfriend, have they? I mean, no functioning person sits watching hours of something they don't like for a clip that you can take out of context. But there was a clip I saw today, and it was basically, I didn't even listen to it. I could tell by the title of the tweets that it was just basically saying that, remember when we heard that Ineos were going to get into bed with the Glazers? I remember going mad. I remember. And I said, they're an enemy of the football club because anybody who gets into bed with the Glazers is an enemy of this football club. And that's how I felt at the time. I'll never apologise for it. End of. But I also said at Christmas, on Christmas Eve, at 4 o'clock, when Man United announced it, I said, we've lost. We have lost. And I said, there is no point, and I don't live my life like this, when you lose something, there's no point moaning like a bitch for the next 6 months about it, like some people are about Ten Hag keeping his job. I said, that's it. It's over. We didn't win. We have to hope and get behind what this ownership is now and hope that they can deliver. So, it might be controversial, but if somebody offered me Qatar to take over as a full ownership now, I'd still take it. And I know that's going to get clips, but what I mean is, I'm really enjoying what Ineos are doing, and I don't want to stop that project. But I think people are getting confused about my problem with Ineos a year ago. My problem with Ineos a year ago was that they were keeping the people who have caused Old Trafford to rust, who have kept us in debt for years, who have took dividends out of this football club and run it into a shit heap. So when people want to take me out of context on things and take a pop because I said a year ago, anyone who gets into the bed with the Glazers is an enemy of this football club, you can clip me up all you fucking like. You can cause all the trouble you want, because I still mean it. Because the point I was making and will still make is, I haven't forgotten, just because we had a few transfers, I haven't forgotten who owns this fucking football club. The Glazers. And I haven't forgotten what they've done to this football club over 20 years. They've put us into debt, they've took dividends out, and they've let the greatest football ground in the world rot and rust in front of our eyes. I think it's great what Sir Jim Radcliffe's doing, and it's encouraging what Ineos are doing, and in some ways, it's bloody amazing what they're doing with only 25% of the club. But the bottom line is, if I could press a button tomorrow and get rid of the Glazers, I would still do it. So I don't know what people's point is. I would still do it. Because, correct me if I'm wrong, I'm pretty sure Qatar would have done everything that Ineos have done and more. They would have cleared the debt. They would have built a stadium with their own money. Are you telling me that getting an infrastructure above a manager was rocket science? Are you telling me that, getting hold of the football, bringing in directors of football and a CEO is rocket science? Are you telling me that recruiting people under 25 instead of 31 is rocket science? Look, common sense. They deserve a lot of praise for it. And look, the point is here, I've said since Christmas I'm on board because we lost. I'm on board, I'm happy, I'm content. I'm really, really enjoying it. But you know what makes me laugh? It's the people who pretend a year ago, and there was some, that Ineos joining with the Glazers was a good idea. And you completely missed the point. It's got nothing to do with Sir Jim. He's a lifelong Man United fan. I hope this continues. It's the Glazers that was the problem. It wasn't Ineos getting 25% that was the problem. It was the fact that the Glazers were staying. That's why people were pissed off. At the moment, things are going really, really well. And I hope it can continue. I really, really do. I hope it leads to, and the thing I was disappointed with at Christmas was that there was no pathway to full ownership. I wish Sir Jim owned the full club. That's the bottom line. And if he'd bought the whole club, I wouldn't have given a shit. It's the Glazers that's the thing that bothers me. And if people have forgotten that, fine. That's up to you. But I won't forget, and I don't think a lot of people will forget, the damage the Glazers did to this football club. Because even if we win the Premier League next year and the year after, we won the Premier League with the Glazers. It won't save Old Trafford. It won't get rid of the debt. And those things are still there. And I think it's sad that Must and other fan groups have completely forgotten what they were shouting about for years. The debt's still there. Old Trafford is still rotting. But people forget about that because we've signed a few players. And that's not Ineos' fault. Ineos didn't put the debt and they didn't let Old Trafford rot. So I'm very happy with what Ineos are doing. but I'm not happy about what the Glazers are doing. And if people want to call me out for that, well, you know what? You can't tell me or anybody else how to support this football club. Thanks. Cheers. I told you Friday night was a bit different. Anyway, C Cash has just said that. Mojo, thank you, HK. Thank you, Mojo. Love from South Africa, says Manuel. You also said Ineos are going to do popular things first summer to win the fans, and it might be exactly what they're doing. Let's be happy but not overexcited, says Shahin. Look, mate, I may well have said that, but, maybe go back to the thumbnail, stay calm. How many... I will never forget the summer where people had an emoji or a GIF of Ed Woodward walking in through a double doors and it said, walking in like a boss. That actually was going round one summer. Last summer, certain big in-the-know accounts were calling it Murtar Madness. But we forget all that. Oh, we forget all that. Don't forget Ed Woodward walking in like a boss, Murtar Madness. All I'm saying is, stay calm. Stay calm. Don't get too obsessive about transfers. Like De Ligt and Agate will happen, they'll take time. Sales will happen, they'll take time. The left back will happen, it will take time. But as fans, you should always hold your owners to account. You should never, ever, ever let the foot off, really. The pedal needs to stay down. And a lot of good things are happening at the moment. The big thing for me, before we move on, the big thing for me with Ineos was that they kept Erik ten Hag. That was the most impressive thing. I like the signing of Yoro. I like the signing of Xerxes. I like the fact that we've got people like Wilcox and Ashworth. I love the structure. But the thing, when I say something, I mean it. And I said, if they get rid of Ten Hag, they've lost me. Because that's a Glazer decision. If they stick with Ten Hag, we've never done that before. We all want year 3 of the project. So, you can clip up what you bloody well like. People who watch the show and are part of this community know the truth. And I can express my opinion, but I can change my opinion as well. And when I say I'm going to back something, I mean I'm going to back something. Look, I've stuck with Ten Hag. I stuck with Ollie till late. I stuck with Mourinho till late. When Ineos kept Ten Hag, I said they had my backing for what that's worth, and they do. Mark is steaming, says Big Steve. Mojo's gifted 20 memberships. He's an absolute legend. Mojo is a legend. Ezzy's gifted 5 as well. Chat's asking if you do Sancho Agate swap, says Sahil. Well, yeah, but I don't think PSG are interested in Sancho. I mean, he'd do very well in the French league. I think Mason Greenwood's pulled a masterclass, by the way. I think Mason Greenwood's played an absolute masterclass. He's gone to a league that 50% of it is full of farmers. He's gone to a decent team. De Zerbi will cook in the French league with that style of football. And Mason Greenwood will probably score 20 goals, maybe more. And his price will rocket. If he'd have gone to Lazio in the Italian league, it wouldn't have been as easy. So, you put Jadon Sancho in that league, I think he does really well. Do you think our board is ambitious enough to still get De Ligt and Agate if they don't offload those out? Franklin, we've got to offload players, and we will offload players. But just remember what I said. 12 players are going to leave this football club this summer. 12. Already 5 have gone. Greenwood, Camboire, Varane, Martial, and Donny. We will get rid of 12, which is incredible. Paul, thanks for gifting 5 members. James Alcott on Kadioglu interest. Any truth? Mate, he's not a Man United fan and he wouldn't know anything about it anyway. Barca needs cash for Olmo and Williams. Do you think there's any business to be done with Barca other than obvious De Jong? Rotham Farm, welcome to the Members Club. Mojo gifted another 10. Bloody hell, no wonder the chat's going mad. You're swimming in memberships tonight. The badges, you'd be more badges than Blue Peter in there. Oh, I don't know. I should do stand-up. Not to be that guy, but there's only 6 weeks left, says Shahin. No, I think we'll be absolutely fine. I think we're going to be absolutely fine. I mean, that does worry me when you say there's only 6 weeks left. Paul's just gifted 20 memberships. There's a membership gifting battle going on, which benefits you lot. I'll make my judgment of Ineos if they're active in January, says Source Reacts. Well, yeah, I think that the January transfer window is very, very important. How the hell is Mojo not a mod yet, says Graham Cox. Maybe he doesn't want to be a mod. Do you want to be a mod, Mojo? I mean... it's not up to me, but I'm sure the moderators would let you do it. I mean, being a moderator isn't necessarily, you don't just sit there with the moderator spanner. You actually have to do, you have to moderate. Wayne Davis says, is Yoro going to the Olympics? Nathan Thomas and Franco Riva have just gifted membership. I tell you what, don't miss a Friday night show. Not just because I might be half cut, but also because you'll probably pick up a badge. Incredible gifts going on tonight, and a lot of this happens on a Friday. Let me just bring some other news in. We were talking about midfielders. Oh, apparently, I mentioned the Rashford injury, haven't I? Apparently, he's got a minor injury and he won't play tomorrow, but he'll be back for the tour. Fabrizio has given a big midfielder update. A lot of people talking about Romano, Rabiot's dream being to play for Manchester United. The clarity of that is actually from Fabrizio, who has said that there's no doubt that Rabiot's dream is to play in the Premier League, but if that's not possible, there's plenty of other options for him. And then he goes on to talk about what a good signing Rabiot would be. Look, I don't know whether Man United would do that. I think that it's something that Ten Hag looked at before, and it's something that Man United looked at before. I don't think he fits in with what Manchester United want to do in relation to the profile of player that we want with regards to, I think 29 might be a little bit sort of old for what Manchester United are looking to do. But having said that, he's a free transfer, and if the wages weren't... I don't even know if Manchester United will look at him. But what I'm saying is, if they did speak to him and he said, look, what I'm trying to say with Rabiot is, if he didn't have the problematic wages and he didn't have the stories about his agents, judge him as a pure footballer. Do you like him as a footballer? And I do like him as a footballer. I think, he's physical, he's tall, he's good on the ball. I could do a rap. He's physical, he's tall, he's good on the ball. No, he's physical, he's tall, he's good on the ball, he's experienced, he's played for a lot of big clubs. And I think if you dropped him into a Man United midfield, he's better than McTominay. He's better than Amrabat. Is he better than Agate? People will say no because they want Agate. But he'd certainly slot into that midfield roster and be a very, very useful player for us. The flip side to that coin is, how much is he going to cost? How motivated is he to come to Man United and be part of the project? And I think those two things are what Ineos are looking at. Mentality and cost. Because Rabiot would be a useful player. I like him as a player, but he's 29. Does he want to come to Man United and be part of this project? Passionately part of this project? Available every week part of this project? Or does he want to come, try the Premier League out? Oh, I've got a groin problem, I can't make it. And we want hungry players. And it's funny because people will go, oh, players don't do that. They bloody well do. I mean, I'm sure you've watched the fill-in with me and Ben Foster and Watto, and the amount of times Fozzie has said that, he's played with players who you can just predict on a Thursday they're going to go, oh, I felt something, and they're out. And that, that does happen. And because we care so much about Manchester United and we'd literally play with a broken leg, we can't understand it. But unfortunately, in the world of footballers who are professionals, some of them on a Wednesday, amazingly, just do not think, will go, I don't really fancy Man United away at St James's Park. I think it's going to be a tough game. I don't really fancy it. And that happens. I mean, we see that happening with players that get picked, if we're being honest. So, when you're looking at bringing a player in like Rabiot, very expensive, and also what's his motivation? Is he motivated? Because we need hungry players. And, you look at someone like Xerxes, I saw the interview with Ten Hag. Are you hungry? He's going to be hungry. Yoro is going to be hungry right at the start of his career. Agate is going to be hungry because you can tell he's got that South American hunger. De Ligt's going to be hungry to prove himself. We need to bring those types of players in. And if Rabiot's not hungry, then you don't bring him in. Because we could write a book on bringing in players at the wrong stage of their career. You know, on the way down the mountain, injury prone, expensive. But, you know, if Rabiot said, I've been offered 200 grand a week by Juventus, I'll sign for you for 150 grand a week because I want to play for you in the Premier League. Then you consider it. That's when you'd go, oh, that's interesting. But is he going to do that? Or is he going to do what he did last year and the year before, where it's like, I'll play for you, but I want massive wages? And if that's the case, you just don't do the deal. And I think that's why the deal won't happen. It's all right him saying his dream is to play in the Premier League. As I said, if he knocks on the door, if we have a chat with him and go, anything changed from last year? No, I want 10 million signing on fee. I want a yacht for my mum, and I want 210 grand a week. And you go, au revoir, French, and you walk away because that means goodbye in French. Also, if he goes, look, I really want to play in the Premier League before I retire. I want to be part of this project. It's really exciting. I see you brought Lenny Yoro in. I'm really excited about this. Let's do 150 grand a week, and we can factor in bonuses that take me up to 200 grand. Let's do a deal. And in that case, you might do it. But we're changing as a football club, and it's not an age thing. I genuinely think, here's a prediction for you. I genuinely think, from what I've been told, that we will sign a player over 27. Might not be this summer, but might be January. A lot of people think we're not buying players over 25. We will buy players over 25. We will buy players that are 28, 29. But they've got to have the right mentality. They've got to have the hunger. And, you know, we've had our fingers burnt. I mean, the last 10 years has literally been, how old are you? 34. Oh, you used to be a good player, didn't you? Yeah. There's 300 grand a week. I mean, we gave Cristiano Ronaldo 400 grand a week, didn't we? We gave, you know, I love Ronaldo, but we shouldn't have paid that. Eno has gifted 20 memberships. The membership battle's going on. We've never had so many memberships gifted tonight. It's incredible. Mark, does Rabiot play in the 6 or the 8, says Jude. Well, Rabiot's a player I can talk to you about. I mean, he can play 6 and 8. But as I said before, I don't... Look, we analyse the game, the watch-alongs tomorrow. But Man United's Ten Hag midfield is central 6, holding, 8 slightly to the left, middle, and then 10 slightly to the right, more advanced. I would actually like us to go 6, 6, 10. I'd like to play 2 midfielders right next to each other and then a 10. But we probably won't, because the reason he splits it is because he wants his 6 to drop into between the centre-backs. So you can't really go... You have to do what he does. Because somebody said to me, why does he do that? It's really weird. Your left-sided midfielder is the 8 in the middle, and then your right-sided midfielder is the 10, more advanced. But if you think about it, he wants his 6 to drop in between the centre-backs. And if the 8 was ahead of him, and then the 10 was ahead of him, you just have a line. So you've got to have one covering to the left and one covering to the right. And that's how it works. What you're drinking, Mark, is autumn. Apple juice. Just apple juice with... I don't know why it's so frothy, but... Lovely apple juice. 29 years of age. And he's a mummy's boy, says Tumbleweed. Rabiot, I thought he was talking about me. Lake Windermere, sun-drenched Pint United stand. Epic, says Crumpy. Hey, if you're off on your holidays or you are on your holidays, well done. If you're stuck in an airport because of that bloody internet thing, I mean, it's just bad luck. Thoughts are with you. Enu says he's holding his breath for De Jong. I'm telling you now, at some point, there will be a video we do on De Jong, because it happens every year. This is what happens when you don't put gel in your hair, by the way. I've had a shower, no gel. My hair's crap without gel in it. It starts going all dry and fluffy, and I hate it. Always have. Could never not. It's my biggest weakness. Some people's weakness is spelling. Some people's weakness is, you know, running. My biggest weakness is if I don't put gel in my hair, it looks absolutely crap. It's just dry and I can't stand it. Can't stand it. Mark, how do we think about Fofana as Ugarte alternative if PSG can't be bothered? I think he's going to Juventus, mate. This is for Shalin, says, looking healthy, Mark. Hope your back's not bothering you and you're enjoying your Friday night. Here's a drink on me. Yeah, back's doing good. If you check out my Instagram, at Goldbridge Mark, I've just been in the hot tub with Seb. Yeah, which is great for the back, actually. Nathan Burns, welcome to Members Club. What about Guehi if we don't get De Ligt, says Daniel. Very expensive. Very expensive. I like Guehi, but he's very expensive. 70 million is what they were saying in the Times. But Guehi will be cheap next summer. I mean, Rome wasn't built in a day. And as much as we want to do business tonight, today, tomorrow, and till August the 31st, there is January and there is the summer. I think one of the comments of the night has been, I'll judge Ineos in January, because we've got to start utilising the January transfer window. It is so important. I'm a big fan of using the January transfer window. I know some of you think it's crap, but for me, it's an open goal. And we've missed it every year, really. Like, you know it's there. It's almost like United forget that it's going to happen or ignore it. So you start your season off, and by November, you sort of know the rhythm of your season. Is it going badly? Is there still hope? Are you in a title charge? Whatever. There's no reason to ignore the January transfer window. If you're in trouble, get a player or two in to give you a bit of a boost. If you're in a title race, get a player in or two to help you get over the line. And if you're close, if you're in a position where you need a little bit more to get you in a cup race or get you in the top four, go into the January transfer window. We've ignored it for years. And I really hope, look, it doesn't matter now, but the comment that we had about it got me thinking about it. I really do hope that under Ineos, we don't have a situation where they go, we don't see the value in it. Because I really think it's just like, why would you not utilise it? Especially in January, there's so many clubs that are desperate for money. I just think we've got to start using that. If we're a serious club, we've got to start utilising it. Because I read something that Ineos have basically said they envisage the complete project to take 6 transfer windows. And I know the summer transfer window is the main window, but if we say that each summer transfer window is 3, I would say that a January transfer window is probably worth a half of a transfer window. So if it's going to take 6 transfer windows, that means it's 4 summer transfer windows, really, because, well, it's not. It could be 3, because 3 summer transfer windows and 3 halves makes 4.5. I don't know what I'm talking about, but you know what I mean. You've got to use it. You've got to use it. Rotham has gifted 5 memberships. Thank you very much. Big up, Mark. Always amazing content. Says, look, Friday night's a bit different, and I hope you enjoy it. You're absolute legends, and that's from IDFC Dean. Freed Gravel says, first super chat, Mark. Been watching for a long time now. Thoughts on the Branthwaite deal now that Everton ownership is down the Swanee? Well, I know Beth spoke about this. Fac says there's a membership battle going on. Mate, welcome to the Members Club. And David McGloin says, hi, Mark. I know we had a great start to the transfer window. However, can you see United doing any deals on final day? Yes, I can, because I think that final day can throw up opportunities. So why would you ignore it? Worried about the wear and tear on Mainu. Do you think Mount can drop down so we can sort the young lads' load management? Look, Thomas, the great thing is, if you've got... Look, my dream midfield 6 is Ugarte, Amrabat, Collier, Mainu, Mount, Bruno. Collier, Ugarte, and Amrabat can all play the 6. Mainu, Mount, and Amrabat, Collier can play the 8. And Bruno, Mount can play the 10. So you're right. As much as we don't want to, and we want Mainu to play every game, we can manage his workload, especially in the Europa League. You could play Ugarte, Mount, and Bruno in the Europa League. You could play Mount, Collier, and Amrabat in the Europa League. There's all sorts of things you can do, and that's why we need 6 good options, because that midfield's been shit for years. It's not balanced. McTominay can't play as a 6. Ericsson can't play as an 8. really, Casemiro was the only 6, Mainu was the only 8, and we've got 4 10s. Eriksen, Bruno, Mount, and McTominay. Although Mount probably can play an 8, we've just not seen it. Vigan has gifted 5 memberships. You're a legend. Franklin gifted 10 memberships. What a legend he is. And did Company use magic to get the buy-in job, says Parker? I think they used something. I love the United Stand community, says Darth. Who do you think fits our style of play better, Ugarte or Neves? Thanks and cheers. Nathan, welcome to the Members Club. I think that it's a great question. I think Ugarte fits us now for year 3. I think João Neves would be a great player for the future. But I think if you want to bring somebody in now who's going to grab that team like Martinez did, then Ugarte will probably be a fan favourite very, very quickly. Mark, would you be worried about Ugarte settling in England? He's also an unusual player on the ball. Looks awkward, but still good. 50 player for me. 50 million euro player for me. This is Michael McGarry. Look, as I said, stay calm. I think Ugarte is a well-scouted player, but I don't think he's... Look at it. Look at what it does. Oh, my God. Yeah, I think Ugarte is a good player, an interesting signing, but as I said, he could be problematic in the sense that he could be another Amrabat. But, not every signing is going to be a revelation. That's something we all have to accept. 60% of 40% of signings flop. Higher line, balanced midfield, better attacking coach. Boom, it's falling into place, says Martin. We need to play better tomorrow. I know it's only a friendly, but you saw what Ten Hag said after the Rosenborg game, and we need to play better tomorrow. I'm sure you'll be joining me, 4 o'clock kickoff for the watch along, and we need to play better tomorrow. Javi Simons is a generational talent, in my opinion, says V. Nigel gifted 5 memberships. He's a legend. Darren K. Robinson, thank you very much. Rabiot is edging. Is he, Mario? Oh, no. Rabiot is edging closer to United French sources. Would you be worried about Ugarte settling? Wow, I mean, fucking hell. I put Rabiot in the title, Romano Big Midfielder reveal, for a reason. And you know what? If we sign Rabiot, I deserve a bloody medal. Because I did say all along, I had him on the bloody hotometer for months. I've always said, keep your eye on bloody Rabiot. Because we've tried to get him twice, and he's available for free, and he's begging to come to the Premier League. So I've always said, keep your eye on Rabiot. Riddle me this. Oh, here we go. We've had 17,000 watching. It's at 16,100. Answers on a postcard. Where do you think 600 people have gone? They're absolute sad twats. You know what's happening. What time is it? 8:59. Every bloody time in the summer, we'll have 17, 15, 21,000 watching. And look what happens. Love Island. You've been owned. You've been owned there. Any truth in Rios rumours for the midfield? No, Whistly. Xavi Simons is a generational talent, says V. Highline, done that. Nigel, thank you. Mario Franco, Rabiot. Michael, Mark, would you be doing okay? Done that. Big up, Mark. Looking promising for next season, says Dawid. I'm almost as excited when the club says no to stupid fees. God, there's so many people putting messages in tonight. I'm trying my best, but... Mojo says, Mark, being a mod would be great, but given my work schedule, I doubt I can do it properly, but having a drink with you in the last week of August or early September would be really, really brilliant. There we go. Thank you, Mojo. Absolute legend of the chat. Mark Enright's a new member. I like that we're buying players from the manager, but I also feel like it's bigger picture signings, says Hash. And the interesting thing about January is the new structure. We'll have 4 months to plan for it. Exactly. And the new structure came into the window a bit late. So next summer in January could be even better. I was just going to say this. What do you think about this? Because it is better. Do you think it's better or worse? And don't say better or worse before you know it, right? My ideal midfield 6 is Amrabat, Ugarte, Collier, Mainu, Mount, Bruno. Imagine this. Rabiot, Ugarte, Collier, Mainu, Mount, Bruno. Basically, Bruno, we still get Ugarte, Amrabat, or Rabiot. Now, that's going to fry your head because I'm going to say this as well. Don't say that... don't say that Rabiot's too old, because Rabiot is 29 and won't be 30 until April. And Amrabat is 28 next month. There's about a year between them. So it's got to be a Pol. It's got to be a Graham. And imagine that. I mean, what would you think? I mean, look, I've spoken about what I like. I've not said what I prefer, but imagine a midfield six of Rabiot experience, Bruno experience, Mount mid-20s, Mainu young, Agate early 20s, Collier young, Rabiot tall, Agate 6 foot, Collier's nearly 6 foot. You know, 3 players that are pretty tall in the air, which Amrabat's not. It might be better to go with Rabiot instead of Amrabat. But more people are voting for Amrabat at the moment. Love the show. You missed my original chat earlier, says Mark. I'm sorry, Mark. There's just been so many. It's difficult. Do you think Rabiot watches Love Island, says D. We've just lost another 500. I can't believe. I mean, tell you what. Why am I not sponsored by bloody designer sunglasses or fake tan or, you know, whatever those prats on Love Island do? We've clearly got crossover demographics. Like, at least 10% of our audience watches Love Island. I've told you this for years as well. Rabiot over Amrabat because he has no hair, says Paul. Okay. Right. I am just going to read you this. I said I would. If you want to go and watch Love Island, it's up to you. The book is out in a week and a half. So if you want the book, it's not even pre-ordering it now. Just order it. It's going to be here in a week and a half. Links in the description. Scan the QR code. I want to get it in the top 10 of the Sunday Times bestsellers when it comes out. To do that, we need to get a load of pre-orders. So if you're going to get the book, please pre-order it. Links in the description. Scan the QR code. It's be another great thing for the community to achieve. But I'm just going to read you a little bit here towards the end. It's a section called Watching Partners. Now, this is not what some of you might get up to in the weekend. It's a category on YouPorn or something where you watch your partner get done by somebody. This is actually like watching partners for football. So it says, we've all been there in the stadium, at the pub, or even in the sanctuary of our own home. You're trying to watch the game and some absolute dickhead next to you is doing your head in. It can't be helped. You didn't have to choose them to have them blathering in your ear for 2 hours. If there's someone talking nonsense on social media, you can ignore them or block them. So there's about 7 that I list in the book. And basically, it's just annoying football fans, really. And I've got a few. I'm going to read a few of them. Mini Neville. 1 Gary Neville is more than enough, thank you. You don't need another opinionated stato chatting shit in your ear. You know what you're dealing with as soon as they show up. This lot usually dresses like they're ready for a night out on the gantry. No replica shirt. They're like a reject model from the next catalogue. They tend not to get too carried away with the game. They're almost detached, like they're above it, as if you're their audience and they're gracing you with their knowledge. These prats are also total fucking anoraks who seem to be able to back everything up with stats. It's enough to make your neck a bottle of Imodium Plus and sit on the bog for the rest of the game, wallowing in the smell of your own shit. They might come up with an interesting point or two, but the next day you'll be reading something from The Athletic or Mondial and realise they've ripped it off. Cheeky fuckers. We've also got the every 2 year fans. This lot emerge every 2 years like a drunk badger from a hibernation. Oh, is it that time to act like a knobhead again? I better get my England shirt out. We've just actually seen this type of fan. Usually these fans don't give a toss about football, but as soon as the Euros or the World Cup roll up, they're there like a Michael Bublé Christmas album. They're bloody sneaky, this lot. They know they'll be social outcasts for the next month if they don't jump on the bandwagon, but they can't just watch the game and admit they know nothing. They go and buy a New England shirt and start chanting absolute shit. Does Harry Kane still play for Manchester United? I'm trying to watch the game. Fuck off. While you might humour them for a bit, it's the crocodile tears that get me. You can guarantee England will somehow fuck it up, and this prick will have tears rolling down his face in the middle of the pub. I'm the one who's done the hard yards here. I've seen Michael Ricketts play for England. I've earned this pain. Get back in your box. And there's about 7 other ones in there. Oh, what's this? Being blocked by Gary Lineker. I actually need to complete reading this book. But check it out. And we've just lost another 1,000 to Love Island. You bastards. You bastards. You're absolute bastards. You're not. You're legends. Why can't we have B, Rabiot, Amrabat, and Agate? I mean, this is it, actually. What are you talking about? We had 7 midfielders last season. There is something called money and budget, actually. We can't, it's not, we've got to be a bit careful with the money. Mark, this season of Love Island has been epic, says Bryce. I'll take your word for it. Pre-ordered, getting it on Tuesday. Here since 15, says D Budge. Thank you very much. Good night, Mark. Gonna dream of City getting relegated, says Random Guy. Michael's pre-ordered the book. Great job. What would need to happen for Mount to come good? Just needs to stay fit, mate. I think he will come good. I'm looking forward to watching him tomorrow. Rabiot over Amrabat. Okay. Absolute legends tonight. You've been brilliant. Really enjoyed the show. If you could pre-order the book, that would be great. Massive support. Love that. Members, I can't believe how many members have been gifted tonight. That happens on a Friday night. Everybody who's done it is a legend. We've had a great week, actually. It's been a great week in relation to what's been going on around United. And tomorrow we've got a watch along. And I know it's pre-season, but Collier, there's so many people to be excited about. So many young players to watch tomorrow, and some of the more senior players coming back. And then it's off for the tour as well. So lots of things to get excited about. Take care, everyone. And I will see you in the morning. The poll was 58% Amrabat, 42% Rabiot. I would go Rabiot over Amrabat. I don't understand what that's all about. Rabiot is a better player than Amrabat, so I don't really understand what that's all about. And there's only a year between them in age. So, this is the great thing about opinion. I would go Rabiot over Amrabat, 100%. And he's cheaper. You've got to pay 15 million for Amrabat as well. You get Rabiot for free. So even with the increased wages, you'd still save money. But let's see. Take care, everyone. Speak to you all in a bit. Legends.